You're listening to My Comic Life on the My Comic Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to My Comic Life, folks. That's right. You're listening to another action-packed episode of My Comic Life, and we are so thrilled that you're here listening. As always, joining me each week in the My Comic Life studio, the only man I know who can knock out Rocky in a single punch, Alex. Say hi to the folks, Alex.
Oh, that one. It almost got me there, Sam.
Dang it, I thought I was going to trip you up with that one.
Almost did right there. Hey, how's it going on out there today, fan? God, it did kind of get me. How's it going out there today, Comics Life fans? This week we were treated to some quite, a lot of really big developments as far as, the HBO Max side of things. So, we got to get right into it, don't we?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This week we got a duo of awesome trailers. We're going to start the DC side of things with the, first big Zack Snyder Justice League cut trailer. Excited fans were treated to the first real trailer for the upcoming massive production of Zack Snyder's Justice League, due to release worldwide March 18th in theaters and on HBO streaming platforms simultaneously. The roughly 2.5-minute trailer treats fans to a supernova of explosive action in Zack Snyder's signature style. The trailer is chock full of gritty and dark scenes, and even starts out with what looks like a closer look at the death of Superman. And yes, I want to start right here, because at the end of Batman vs. Superman, the first movie, in this, kind of setting up this Justice League here, you hear Lex Luthor at the end, claiming, the bells have been wrong, and I sort of got, he was alluding to the universe knows Superman's dead now, and they're going to be gunning for Earth. But right. This first scene you see in the trailer, you see this huge sound wave, this huge scream, making a sound wave emanating from Superman, and that to me really hammered home the point better that the bells have been rung. The bells have been rung. Are there any scenes that stand out for you as an example of the difference between 2017 and 2021 version of this film that have you excited, Alex?
I do like that Steppenwolf does not. He looks like he's from another planet. He doesn't, because in the 2017 version, he looks friendlier. He kind of.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a poor Ren Fair cosplayer in this one.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great way to put it. But he's, Joss Whedon, he has his good things and his bad things, but I feel like he wasn't quite the right fit for Justice League, considering that Zack Snyder had already set it up to be a much more serious and dark, take on superhero life. And so I think immediately was the difference between the Steppenwolfs, and the difference between the outfits that Cyborg is wearing, and it just stands you feel it through the trailer that it is going to be way more serious than the 2017 kind of happy campy. We want everybody to have a good time, kind of a feeling that you got from that one. But what about you, Sam? You anything immediately jump out to you?
Yeah. So things that really caught my eye were we're getting to see the black suit Superman with the gray S symbol, kind of harkening back to the Death and Return Superman of the 90s comic era. And even then, it's kind of revealed that maybe Kryptonians really can't die, and that black suit is just one giant solar battery, something it just keeps sucking up solar energy and healing Kryptonians or Superman in this case until they can be brought back to life. So I'm excited to see that. You see at one point Superman land at Wayne Manor and talk to Alfred. I saw a brief cut of this scene a year ago. Somebody had leaked online. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Love seeing more of the Flash. You get to see him save Iris in this, that. That is just exciting. And Steppenwolf with all the spikes popping out of him and everything looks way more menacing. And this, I've seen some scenes in here where Wonder Woman bank heist in Paris, where I still kind of go, oh my gosh, okay, so this is still there, and it kind of makes my gut clench because like I still see like Whedon Snyder cut in there, but I'm just like, it looks like Snyder's building like a more massive, more cohesive, like less, kind of choppy story here. So I'm excited to see this. Question to you is though, do you think like the nearly $30 million undertaking, quote unquote, is gonna like right this ship? Like the additional scenes here, like is that doing it for you, Alex?
So what I would love to happen is that I would love for this to actually, to right the ship that, because this is a huge investment for the HBO Max crew. I'd like to see them get their money back and much more for this because I do want to see more in the Snyderverse, and I can tell you why is that it's way different than what Marvel has to offer. Don't get me wrong, I love my Marvel movies to death. They're really good.
Oh
I
yeah,
enjoy them all.
we are both
You know,
hardcore Marvel fanboys here.
exactly, but it's you get something different with DC. You get it's a little more darker. It's a little more realer. And in fact, there was as you know, Zack Snyder, he's pretty active on social media, and a fan had actually asked him. He said, "Are there going to be? Is the movie going to include jokes like when Bruce, was asking Aquaman, I hear you talk to fish," and Snyder replied with, "There's not a lot of jokes, just period." He was just like, "There's just not a lot of jokes in his cut," and so that kind of really excites me. I'm here for the story. I'm here for the action. I'm not here to laugh. I just want to watch these gods kind of go at it. But, and to get back to your question, I I would love for this to right the ship and not, but part of me is just thinking they like I don't know who is it that owns DC now? Is it Warner?
Yeah,
Or
Warner
whoever?
Brothers. Yeah, still holds all the DC rights.
So I don't know if they want to invest in another, 4 or 5 movies with this group, or if they just want to, go with this new Batman that they have, and just basically kind of reset it. But I would love for them to keep going. I'm a huge fan of Batfleck, huge fan of Henry Cavill as Superman. He might be my favorite Superman. Um,
Really?
yeah, honestly, honest to God, dude, I liked all of his movies, but I mean, it's a give or take for me. I hope that it happens, but I just don't see it happening. But I mean, what do you think, man? You think this is gonna kind of give
Uh,
fans what they want, or?
this trailer is at parts goosebump inducing to me. I like that they fleshed out Darkseid a little bit more, and that we're going to get to see Darkseid, and I can see some of that $30 million going into making him look more menacing and everything.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he quite looks as menacing to me as Thanos did, but I mean, like he's getting there, like it's building on me. I know in like a recent interview, Snyder said he had no plans to do any more DC films going forward from this. Like you, I really liked Batfleck. Like I have been a solid and staunch defender of Batfleck. Would love to see more Batfleck. I know with the supposed Flashpoint film coming, you could claim that like Batfleck is part of like the 78 DC world, and Flash is on the like the 616 world or like whatever, but or like sorry, Robert Pattinson's Batman is on like a 616 DC universe, because yeah, they are hinting at a possible DC multiverse, because somebody did ask the question of, hey, does Robert Pattinson's Batman replace, Batfleck all of a sudden? And I believe, director or somebody from DC answered that as no. Robert Pattinson's Batman films will stand alone in their own universe. So you're already hinting at a multiverse where you could possibly get more Batfleck, which I'm hoping will happen. But spoiler alert, one of the biggest differences between the two properties was the inclusion of Jared Leto's Joker, and he came in right at the end of the trailer in a Gotham like SWAT vest, holding a machine gun, like sitting on a car. It all looks very kind of haunting, very, but I mean, just once again, it's the perfect way to end this trailer, because it sends fans through the roof, because you tease them with the picture, and then you get to see him, and he offers that haunting line about honor being dead now, and everything. What did you think about the Jared Leto reveal in this trailer? Like, was it enough to get you excited, or did you want to see more?
All right, man. Hold on. Okay. All right.
You're always cracking one open for like Jared Leto's Joker or something in this show, man.
I need it, man. I need it. Okay, so his Joker and we've talked about this at length, man.
Yeah.
I did not care for his Joker in Suicide Squad. He was probably, and even last week I believe it was that we went over who our favorite Jokers were, and he just barely kind of edged out Caesar as far as like taking the very last spot. So
because you and I listed like 6 Jokers, and we wholeheartedly agree like the top 3. There was like a huge gap between like the top 3 and the bottom 3.
So, but no, this is not my opinion. Do I think Jared Leto could play a great Joker? Yes. Do I think that he did play a great Joker? No. But that's not necessarily his fault, and I'm hoping that Zack Snyder, the question that you posed before writing the ship, I hope that this does lead to that kind of where he can kind of give Jared Leto this redemption, because I feel like he can play a good Joker if he is given the right direction. And so I'm excited to see what he does in this. Now, if you want my honest take, I do think that I think it's all hype. I think he's basically going to be in like one scene.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be like Batman's dream or something. He's just
about to say because
there.
like the scene that we see, he's kind of out of frame in the background, but you see Cyborg back there, but you see Batman in like his apocalypse, turned Superman, and like the world has ended, end of days, Batman coat, like long flowing trench coat.
Yeah.
And Joker's, Duster, is staring out over a cliff of like what could be like the ruins of Gotham City, and that's when he says that line. So you're right. I mean, it could be a lot of hype for nothing. I hope it's not. But yeah,
Absolutely.
with this,
like this whole and like I said, and I hate to keep talking about this, but as far as writing the ship, what I hope it is I hope that it's kind of like, I don't remember what Arkham game it was, but in one of them the Joker was constantly in your head, and he would show up.
Oh, that was the last one.
It was Arkham City, right, or Arkham
Knight? Yeah, because Batman had been infected with Joker venom in Arkham City, and he wasn't able to fully get the Joker out of his head.
So what I would like is for something like that to happen, where the Joker is just haunting Batman throughout the film, and in turn this would make people excited and be like, well, I'd like to see a lot more of this, and we get another Batfleck film where he's fighting this demon off. But
that's an interesting
again, we're
take.
talking wishful thinking. I do feel like Jared Leto would be perfect for something like that, because he can turn on as even that was even exhibited in Suicide Squad, where he can kind of flip the switch to Crazy Town like on a dime. So that's, like I said, pie in the sky. I hope so. But if we're speaking realistically, and I got to put my money down on it, it's just all hype at this point.
Shout out to Ben Affleck and Jared Leto, friend of the show. Give us a call. Let's start
friend
talking.
Of the show.
Let's start talking scripts next week, guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the Joker was a surprise cameo. We got like that little picture, but we weren't quite sure how he was gonna fit into the movie. Do you think we will be treated to like any more surprise appearances? And if so, who would you like to see, Alex?
Okay, I thought about this a little bit, and I know we spoke about this a little bit before the show, and you had a really good theory on it, so I won't steal your thunder, but I will say that so in the 2017 version, when they talk about the history of Steppenwolf, you do get to see the big battle, and during that big battle, you get to see the Green Lantern.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
would like to see more Green Lantern rather than just a vague green beam coming from a flying PS2 graphic.
Yeah.
I would like to see a little bit more of the Green Lantern because he is kind of like one of those golden age superheroes that and he's pretty popular, and he speaking about redemption and he's in desperate need of it. But I mean, what about? I mean, you did have a pretty good info on this. You care to share with us?
Oh yeah, sure. The one there's two I'm kind of hoping to see, but first one, this one was supposed to be set up in like Man of Steel or Justice League. I'm getting the films mixed up, but Harry Lennox, who played the General in Man of Steel, was supposed to be revealed to be Martian Manhunter, and in fact, like I was just reading like an interview today where it's like he had filmed a scene with Martha and Lois at like the Kent farm where he like revealed himself, and like Zack Snyder was like, look, I had shot the coverage on Martha and Lois and like their reactions. I hadn't shot any footage with Harry Lennox yet. I was supposed to film him back in Los Angeles, but never could make that work. So I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, like, am I like the biggest Martian Manhunter fan? No, but like, is the character badass, and like, does he certainly belong in a Justice League movie? And could he help fight an alien invasion? Hell yes. So I would love to see Zack Snyder's take on Martian the Manhunter. And I think Harry Lennox is a solid actor. Liked him in everything that I've seen him in. From Ray to Man of Steel to even The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like I said, hoping maybe we get to see Martian the Manhunter. This one is kind of like my pie in the sky one because, like I said, I don't know where in the DC Universe timeline this film takes place in relation to Justice League, but I so love Shazam, and I loved Zack. I'm blanking on his last name now, but the guy who played Shazam, he was in Chuck. I so loved his take on Shazam. I would love to see Shazam just randomly show up and like take out like 6 aliens and then disappear.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of, I know we just got done talking about how much we love DC because they are a lot darker and different than Marvel. That being said, their three like most successful movies were the ones that were kind of stenciled, over the Marvel type of movie with your Wonder Woman, your Aquaman, and your Shazam. Those are all, and those are like pound for pound, those are like the best DC movies that they've had to date, and they're certainly the most they've made the most money. So. Take it what you will. Some people like, and it's okay to like either one. I'm not going to sit here and argue over which one is better. I know which one that I prefer, but I will say that I did like, I do like your Martian Manhunter theory. I hope that they kind of do something with that because because at this point it's like, we don't know if we're even ever going to get another Justice League movie. So why not pull out all the stops?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even thought about that. But yeah, man, fuck it, go for broke, man. Like throw everything but the kitchen sink at this one. Why not? You're absolutely right. We could never see.
You got 4 hours, man.
Yeah, you got 4 hours, man. Swing for the fences.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, but moving on from DC to video game movies, like a niche film genre which has really never taken off, like which I'm baffled by sometimes because like there is such a collaborative built-in universe of like stories to it. If they could just crack the code on this would be like a whole new multi-billion-dollar shared universe.
Really good.
But this one could do it. And what we're talking about here is we got the first big reveal trailer for Mortal Kombat. Sorry, I had to do that. I mean, high octane action. You saw a great variety of fighters in this one. The martial arts looks great. Like fatalities flying, blood, guts, everything that you see in the video game actually is really translating to screen. Alex, initial thoughts. What did you think of the trailer? Were you surprised the studio decided to go all in with an R rating?
I absolutely was surprised. I didn't really keep up with this movie at all, so I didn't know anything about it going into watching this trailer. I was completely surprised that they decided to do R rating, considering that the video game is kind of popular among the younger crowd. But it does have its don't get me wrong, they do have their fans that are well you know well matured, like you and I, for instance. We were just talking about how we used to play Mortal Kombat
Oh
in
yeah.
the '90s, so it's
I remember going to like arcades in like the '90s to play Mortal Kombat. But honestly, I mean, this thought just came to me, and yes, like you, I was surprised that it got an R rating because, like, studios usually, and wrongly, usually think, hey, we can make more money with a PG-13 rating because we can get more teenagers in here. But this is just off the top of my head question here. Do you think the success of Deadpool possibly paved the way to having more R-rated films? So we got our R rating for Mortal Kombat.
yeah, I certainly hope so, because for a while now it's been your action movies have kind of just stuck to PG-13, which is kind of odd. I mean, when's the last time you saw any kind of a like gratuitous nudity in an action movie? I can't even remember the last. Not that it's a deal breaker for
No,
me.
no, no.
Please
But
don't-
I know what you're
please don't
talking
get
about.
on-
Like hardcore action and like all that stuff. That we got in like those like '80s and like early '90s action films.
Absolutely, but I'm liking that this. Do I think that Deadpool had something to do with it? Absolutely, man. I mean, Deadpool, they grossed like a few $billion off of their two movies, and they were both a solid hard R. Um, so I it's been a section of the audience that's kind of been ignored for way too long, and it's nice to get a couple of movies thrown our way every once in a while, because I want to go to a movie, and if it's a Mortal Kombat movie, this is what I want to see. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
want
for
to see,
sure.
people. I don't want to see the friendship. I want to see the fatality.
Yeah, no, I got to admit, like one part of like the trailer that like really shocked me was like right out from the start, you hear a voiceover from Sonya talking about how like they first ran into like Sub-Zero, and you see him freeze Jax's gun, and I thought, okay, he's gonna freeze the gun, break it, and like punch Jax, and like that'll be that. But no, man, that dude freezes Jax's gun, breaks it, and then freezes Jax's arm and rips them off. And
Yeah,
I
it was
like I
kind of
literally like
intense.
yeah, like I literally like pushed back like from my computer. I was like, no, you didn't. Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Did you really just fucking do that?
It was pretty cool. So would that be one of your favorite parts of the trailer? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. That was one of my favorite parts of the trailer, and sort of like the character roll call. Where like you got to see like every character for like a split second, because they are highlighting like some of my favorite characters in here. Scorpion, Liu Kang got this cool one. He always had this animality in the game where he would turn into a dragon and like eat you, and they've kind of like paid homage to that, because if you go back and watch like the sizzle reel part of the trailer for like Liu Kang, he creates a dragon out of fire, and it looks like it's about to eat somebody. So I thought that's cool. No more shitty CGI morphing into like dragons with like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Oh God, what a horrible movie that was.
claymation dragon.
Yeah. But here, a fire dragon like that Liu Kang creates out of fire, like that I can totally believe. So like I said, and like they of course had like my personal all-time favorite Mortal Kombat character, Sub-Zero. They had Kung Lao in there. They had a brief shot of Goro. He looked a little too CGI for me. I'm hoping they clean that up a little bit, because the 95 animatronic puppet looked more real to me than this Goro did. I mean, don't get me wrong, Goro still looked cool in this trailer, but I could just tell he was totally CGI in this one. But Alex, yeah, what for you, like what stood out, like what favorite parts of the trailer, like made you stand up and cheer?
I think so. I think a lot, and you might have been touching on this a little bit, but for me, Sub-Zero basically stole the show
Oh
from the
yeah.
entire trailer. Like, he has all the coolest parts, and the one to me that stood out was when I think it's a fight between him and Scorpion, but I'm not sure. But he basically, like, he punches Scorpion, blood flies out, he freezes the blood, turns it into a knife, and then stabs Scorpion with it. And it's like, okay, let's do this. Like, I'm ready for this movie now. It was really, I loved watching that part.
Oh, I thought he had frozen. I'm gonna say this the wrong way, but Scorpion's like, get over here, like kunai Shane, like he had frozen that and like stabbed him with his own weapon. Like, that's what I saw. I'm about to go back and watch this yet again. But either way, yeah,
there's so much in it that's
Yeah.
that's actually, that you can look at, that it's kind of, I think it's like you, it's going to be a feast for the eyes.
Yeah, the
hopefully the martial arts is top notch. I know that there is a ton of stuntmen that are actually cast in the the starring roles of this. So I hope that they bring their A game.
Yeah, I mean, it's always better to say, like, for this type of film, I would go find talented martial artists and teach them how to act, versus trying to, like, teach some actors how to fight. Just my take on it. Loved
So
the Melina.
fighting actors, right?
Yes, fighting actors. Yes.
Okay, I like it.
Love the reveal of Melina, like, licking her dagger with, like, the messed up, cut up, like, fanged face. Like, that was really cool. Sonya looked spot on in her costume. But we're talking about characters here. Mortal Kombat has a vast array of fighters. Were there any fighters that were missing for you, Alex? Like any ones where you're like, damn it, why wasn't Cabal or Shinjin like in this one?
I gotta tell you, dude, I don't want you guys to jump on me in the comments for anything like that, but I miss White Raiden, dude. I miss, yeah, dude. Yeah, I miss Christopher Lambert as my.
You
Raiden.
wanted the fucking Highlander back in the Raiden role?
Yeah, I needed Christopher Lambert as my Raiden
Whispering every line.
To defend the mortals, I needed that bad white-haired wig, and I don't know. Maybe this new guy will do a lot. I don't know much about this new guy, and I know it sounds so horrible, but to me, Christopher Lambert is Raiden. I know you were talking about the old Shane Tsung kind of being the gold standard for you.
Oh, he was so good, Carrie.
For me, dude.
Yeah, Carrie. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna bust his name here, but Carrie
Tagawa.
Yeah, Kerry Tagawa, man, he played Shang Tsung so well in the '95 Mortal Kombat. This new Shang Tsung has got a lot to live up to me, in this new film. I still can't believe you want. If you believe you will win the fight, then you have already won it.
So many classic lines, dude. Just
you want that dime store fortune cookie, Dollar General Raiden there, man.
I need him, dude. I need it.
Oh
what about
gosh.
you? I mean, I know there's a big, going through this.
The big
cast list,
one
there's
that
some
like
big
hurt
names
me
missing.
was I wanted the ball busting, shadow kicking, autograph signing Johnny Cage. Where the hell was he?
Man.
Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you.
Once again,
I thought that trailer was missing a couple of uppercuts.
yeah, Lyndon Ashby, who portrayed him like the '95 film, once again spot on. Had his arrogance down, had his sense of humor down, and like that can lend like a little levity. Like, Mortal Kombat doesn't need to be totally funny, but like a little levity here and there, like, isn't gonna hurt a Mortal Kombat film, and that's what Johnny Cage can provide for you. I'm hoping, and like this, like 2021, that like they've got some kid here named Cole, and all they refer to him as Cole throughout the trailer. I've heard it hint, and I'm kind of hoping, much like at the end of Dark Knight Rises, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, goes pick up some stuff that Bruce Wayne left for him. Like the woman's like, oh yeah, Robin, that's a great name. Go with that name. I'm hoping that they're like, oh, your full name is Johnny Cole Cage, and I'm just like, oh, young Johnny Cage. All right, so like he'll grow up to be like arrogant and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, they've included enough characters, and the Mortal Kombat mythology looks to be solidly in place here. So, yeah, just give me Johnny Cage. That's all I need. I'm going to give this last bit to you here. Any other characters that we need, for this, or that like surprise cameo you're hoping for?
Honestly, like I said, as long as I get my Sub-Zero and mainly my main man Scorpion, who's played by what's his name, Hiroyuki Sanada, who's legendary Japanese actor. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, he knows his stuff in like fight scenes in and out. Yeah, great.
And
great
the craziest
Japanese.
thing is, I was looking at his IMDb page, and that man is like 60 years old.
He does not look 60 at all.
He does not look 60 at all, bro. He's like, what is his secret? Like he is. That man is like. That man's got some genes.
Oh my
bro.
gosh,
But
he killed it in like The Last Samurai. Loved his role in the Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai, Wolverine. He was in Endgame. He was, that Yakuza boss. That
That Ronin fights.
Exactly. He was, and I mean, an amazing actor. And there are other people. The guy who this guy who plays Cole. His name is Louis Tan. And I guess he was Shatterstar in Deadpool, which I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the guy who played Liu Kang. I like this film. I guess I was in the minority, but the guy who plays Liu Kang played the Black Power Ranger in the recent Power Ranger reboot that I think is a terrible sin, is not getting a sequel. God, man, people are morons for not making a sequel to that film. But glad to see him getting more work. Glad to see him playing Liu Kang. I think he will do that role justice.
I think it's gonna be real weird to see Liu Kang not be in a starring role, but I kind of it intrigues me and I kind of like it. So I kind of like this ensemble cast, and it'll be fun to see how like the tournament style kind of plays out. One thing that kind of caught me off guard, and you and I were like debating this at the beginning, is Kano. And for all you guys who really don't know the game that well, Kano has like a red eye that he shoots laser out of, and it has like a piece of metal on his face. He looks to be fighting Reptile in the trailer, and maybe wins that fight. And he looks like a good guy. Like, that's throwing me off. He's always been Sonya's mortal enemy, killed her first partner. She's the reason she went and tracked him down in like the first Mortal Kombat tournament to fight him. If he turns out to be good and then like turns bad, are you okay with that? Or like, do you need him to be like a bad guy from like the word go? I honestly just think he's a bad guy through and through, man. The guy's got a red robot eye. Like, that's, I don't know. I don't know what else.
If that doesn't scream bad guy to you, I don't know what does. Red robot eye.
Got a giant scar on his face, man. Like, it doesn't have to be that intense, but and I mean, even in the trailer, I mean, he rips that thing's heart out, dude. That's not something that you want your heroes doing. Not in,
yeah,
that's an anti-hero move. That's a Scorpion move. That's a, I honestly don't think you're gonna be seeing Cole, punching people's heads off and stuff. Like, he's gonna be the one like the Liu Kang in the first movie where he's like, I will not, kind of like Maximus Aurelius from Gladiator, like, just I will not kill him. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah. I honestly think Kano's just a bad guy through and through.
All right.
He's got the Australian accent and the robot eye, dude. It's just like it's already written in stone.
Australian accent, robot eye. You heard it here first. That makes you a bad guy. I'm kidding.
Stay away from me.
I'm kidding. All right, moving on to our ever growing awesome show here segment. We're moving on to the Marvel Disney side of things with WandaVision. Episode 6.
Spoiler alert, people. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler here. All new Halloween spooktacular. In the early 2000s setting, Wanda wants to spend Tommy and Billy's first Halloween together as a family, but Vision tells her he is going to patrol the streets in the neighborhood watch. Pietro offers to step in as the father figure and takes the boys trick-or-treating, causing mischief with his super speed, which Tommy is revealed to have inherited. Meanwhile, Vision explores further away from the house and finds residents of Westview standing frozen in their positions, including Agnes. Vision speaks to Agnes's real self, and she tells him that he is dead. Outside of Westview, Hayward orders Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy to leave the base for disagreeing with his decision to attack Wanda, but they sneak inside. They hack into his computer and discover that he's been tracking Vision's vibranium signature. Vision tries to push through the static wall, but he begins to disintegrate. Billy senses this, tells Wanda, who expands the hexagonal static wall. Vision, Darcy, and several sword agents are swallowed up by this new boundary. Alex, just initially, what did you think of this episode? Did anything stick out to you?
Whew. Yeah, this is where it's starting to hit the fan on this one, bro. So, one of the things that stood out to me the most was watching Vision try and get through the wall, and the wall really not letting him through, at least not all the way. So what I think was happening was that he was reverting back to his dead self, and what you saw, the little bits that were peeling off of him, those were already, they were all, like, his body was pretty mangled after his fight with Thanos, and so I feel like the little parts of his shoulder and everything were put back on there by Wanda or whoever is directing this whole the hex is what they call it, and that him trying to leave was basically like you were just seeing like whatever soul was put in him or whatever was consciousness was put in him was just being ripped out of him, and it was just not going to be allowed to leave the hex, which was it's pretty horrifying when you think about it. But it was the whole Vision B story was fascinating to me. Him, exploring the outer boundaries of the hex, and walking through that neighborhood where everybody was frozen. Eventually coming up to Agnes and kind of giving her life back for a moment and being told all this information. It was crazy to watch, and I couldn't really turn away. I'm glad you pushed me to keep watching because at this point I could not tell you what's going to happen next. Like, I can't possibly predict where this show is going to go because it is so different, But I hate to go on and on, but what did you think of the episode? Was there, did anything stick out to you?
Oh man, fantastic episode. And yes, jumping on your point there, yes, Vision being pulled back, are trying to like break free of the hexagonal static wall and being pulled back. I am so hoping, like, down on my knees begging Disney to let Vision be alive. I'm just hoping that like he is so, like, Wanda has so bound him to the hexagonal static wall where like Monica could maybe like get out, because she threw her out. Like anybody else who would try to leave would experience like what Vision was experiencing, being pulled back. I hope he's alive, but I so see the credence to your theory there that like if he leaves that hexagonal wall, he's dead, and like that makes more sense to me in my rational mind, but in my fanboy irrational mind, I so want him to be alive, and I so want to believe that, like, he's just bound to that town for now, and maybe if, like, the hex breaks, he'll still come out of this alive. Fingers crossed. I hope. I'm very suspicious of the director of Sword. What is his motivation? What's going on with him? There's rumors floating around that he could be...
there's a lot of crazy rumors.
That he could be the villain Mephisto, fascinating when like I got Stranger Thing vibes when I saw the hexagon expand and like, flipped all the sword agents into, like a circus, and sort of fair.
That was a really cool
fair
shot.
People. Yeah, that was cool to see. So, like you, I have some friends that are like, I need all this now. No, I'm loving this whole week by week thing. I love having this debate with you every week. Just, like throwing out theories. And like next week, I'm like, oh man, Alex was dead on about this. Like, hey, I was actually right about this. One thing that did pop up was the claymation commercial, which advertised Yo Magic yogurt. What did you think of the significance of like this commercial this week? Does it lend to like Doctor Strange, Mephisto, or just some random wink and nod to the Marvel fans?
So I first, I it made me smile because it did remind me a lot of the commercials that I saw as a kid.
Oh yeah,
You
those.
definitely don't see a claymation commercial anymore.
Nah,
They're
man, we
probably
used to
way
have
too
those like
expensive.
Dunkaroos commercials, and like those like Go-Gurt commercials back in the day.
Or the cinnamon apple jacks
Yes,
with
yes,
the
cinnamon apple
little
jacks,
cinnamon. Yeah.
or the
So
or the or the Smacks Frog, if you will.
sugar smacks.
Yeah, sugar
So I
smacks.
can't even tell you the last time I saw a box of
Oh,
smacks.
those things! I bought them one time. They were awful.
Oh no. So
Um,
I this the I'm a big believer that every single one of these commercials that we've seen so far have a deeper meaning. We still don't know quite what that is, and I do love that they're also kind of like, to tag on with what you were saying, that these are also lend themselves to being the topic of discussion as far as like what do they mean and what's their significance to these different traumatic events in Wanda's life. This one in particular, everything was going okay until he was just standing there, or he was just leaned up against that tree just staring at the yogurt, and then you just see the time flying by, and it starts to go faster and faster, and he just never eats the yogurt. He just sits there and just wastes away. And
I know
I
that was
honestly,
sort of a bleak and like depressing commercial.
it was, and I just like at this point, it's like I don't know what it means, and it's almost to the point where it's just getting exhausting trying to keep up with all these these little Easter eggs and this little stuff that they show us, and so it's very um like I don't know, like I don't know where I'm going with this, but I honestly can't wait till we get all the answers. I hope that we do, and I would really, I guess it would speak to the longevity of this show, because I, for one, am definitely going to watch it all over again once I know what's going on. Because
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
it's
like,
like it's like you're putting like a puzzle together and just piece by piece. But yeah, being able to see like the whole overarching complete puzzle. Yes, like I will definitely go back and like rewatch this. And yes, I agree. I feel like I need like a pen and pad, like writing down like everything I see in the show almost, just like go back and like research it later.
absolutely. I mean, what would you rate this week?
Oh man, this week, oh man, this episode 9.0. It got it. It,
Oh
it got a
wow.
9. It finally broke out of that whole like B plus 8.8, 8.9 rating, giving it a solid 9. Alex, what about you, sir?
I'm still on the. This one is probably a that mid B to a B plus for me.
Okay.
Um, I'm a little bit of a harsher critic of the show, but I mean, there's just so much going on right now that we're trying to keep track of, that I'm hoping that they start to try and tie up these loose ends instead of just giving us more and more. Because at one point I was like, okay, so they're starting to wrap this up, and then here comes X-Men Universe Pietro, which you're left at the end of this episode like, well, what happened with him? Because she hit him with the magic and sent
Yeah,
him into
she hit
like
him with the hex
flying through
bolt.
the town.
Yeah.
She sent him flying through the town, and now you don't know what's going on with that, because obviously she doesn't trust him anymore. And like I said, this watching everybody change into the circus, I thought that was really cool. Um, One thing I did really like that pushed this to a B plus to me was the Malcolm in the Middle beginning credits that they kind of had, and the way that the show was structured, kind of like Malcolm in the Middle, where it was told from the perspective of Billy and Tommy, and they were kind of the narrators of the show. I thought that was really cool because I did love that show. But yeah, for me, it's a solid. It's a solid B plus for me. I've got to say.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Could not have said it any better. Totally reiterating all those points there. Yeah, Malcolm in the Middle was great. I think she's going to make her brother possibly forget. In fact, I have a feeling maybe she didn't like even like want to like bring Pietro back into the show, but she brought him back in order to like possibly distract Vision from like waking up more in this reality. Hopefully, she thought he would, prove to be that kind of distraction to kind of get Vision back in line.
Right.
Well, Alex, any other final thoughts here before we wrap up?
No, I think that's it for me. As always, we give you guys 1 week. We give you guys 1 week to make sure you get caught up with episode 7 that came out. I think this was yesterday, February 19th. I think it would have been about 5 days before you guys get this show. So make sure you guys watch it before you tune in next week. As always, we like to cover it at the end of the show.
Yeah, and please, like and subscribe to our Facebook page. You can email us on any, geeky, nerdy video game comic book topics that you want to hear us talk about on the show at realmycomiclife@gmail.com. And we have a YouTube channel where you can listen to all of our episodes there, so find us on YouTube at My Comic Life and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. But
Absolutely.
as always,
and I can't wait. I really would like for some of you to actually chime in with some of the theories that you guys might have.
Yeah. Comment, leave comments on our episodes, and we will talk back to you guys. We will email you back. We will give you credit on air for being like, hey, Rick in Minnesota, or hey, Neil in Austin. Yes, write to us, and we will definitely discuss your stuff on here. We love fan feedback from you guys. But hey, as always, folks, this is going to wrap up our show. So ditch the herd, be a nerd. Stay strong out there, my friends. And we're out.